Have you ever walked through a shopping mall and felt a strange chill, a sense that you're not entirely alone? Most of the time, it's just the air conditioning. But what if it was something more? What if the very ground beneath your feet held a secret so bizarre, so terrifying, that it defies all explanation? Today, we're not just window shopping. We read digging deep into one of the most unsettling urban legends of our time, the haunting of Valley View Mall, a place that didn't just close its doors, it vanished. The story begins in the late 1980s, the golden age of the American mall. Valley View was the crown jewel of its town, a sprawling two-story complex filled with the sounds of laughter, the scent of fresh pretzels, and the vibrant colors of neon signs. It was more than just a place to shop, it was the heart of the community. Teenagers had their first dates at the food court, families saw blockbuster movies at the multiplex, and the Central Fountain was a legendary meeting spot. For years, Valley View thrived. Then, one Tuesday morning in the autumn of 1993, the impossible happened. Commuters driving past the massive lot where the mall should have been saw nothing. Just a vast, empty expanse of cracked asphalt. The entire building, a structure of steel, glass, and concrete weighing thousands of tons, was gone. Vanished. Without a trace. Panic erupted. News crews descended on the scene, broadcasting images of the empty lot to a bewildered nation. How could a building that large disappear overnight? There was no debris, no signs of demolition, no crater. It was as if Valley View Mall had been neatly plucked from the face of the earth. The police were baffled. Federal investigators found no evidence of any known technology capable of such a feat. Theories ran wild, from a top-secret military experiment to an elaborate, impossible heist. But the truth, as the legend goes, was far stranger and far more terrifying. The mall hadn't been taken away. It had been pulled down. Weeks turned into months, and with no answers, the story of the vanishing mall faded from the headlines, becoming a bizarre footnote in local history. The town built a new shopping center on the other side of the highway, and life moved on. The empty lot where Valley View once stood was eventually fenced off, a silent monument to an unsolved mystery. People tried to forget, but the land didn't. Years later, a new generation, raised on whispers of the disappearing mall, started to get curious. Armed with flashlights and a thirst for adventure, groups of urban explorers began sneaking onto the property at night. They were looking for clues, for anything that could explain what happened. Most found nothing but overgrown weeds and crumbling asphalt. But one group, in the dead of winter, noticed something odd. A faint, warm vapor was rising from a crack in the concrete near the center of the old lot. Driven by curiosity, they returned with pry bars and sledgehammers. After hours of grueling work, they managed to widen the crack enough to reveal a dark, gaping hole. And from the depths, a strange, familiar sound drifted up, a faint, tinny echo of 80s pop music. Stealing their nerves, they lowered a rope and descended into the darkness. What they found would haunt their nightmares forever. They landed on the tiled floor of a shopping mall. It was Valley View. It was all there, perfectly preserved in the cold, subterranean darkness. The storefronts were intact, the neon signs dark but unbroken, the mannequins in the windows still dressed in the fashions of 1993. Dust coated everything like a fine layer of gray snow. But they were not alone. As their flashlight beams cut through the gloom, they saw them. Faint, shimmering figures wandering the empty corridors. A ghostly teenager leaning against the wall of the silent arcade. A spectral family staring into the dark window of a toy store. A translucent security guard making his eternal rounds. It seemed the mall hadn't just taken the building with it. It had taken its patrons, too. The explorers realized with dawning horror that they were standing in a massive, concrete tomb. The air grew heavy, thick with a sense of profound sadness and confusion. Whispers echoed from the empty food court, ghostly conversations just beyond the edge of hearing. The explorers felt an overwhelming urge to flee, a primal fear that told them they were intruders in a place that no longer belonged to the living. As they scrambled back towards the rope, one of them swore they saw the lights in the cinema marquee flicker to life, spelling out the name of the last movie ever shown. Now showing, forever. They barely made it out, pulling the last person up just as a low groan echoed from below, the sound of shifting earth and groaning steel. They sealed the hole as best they could and never spoke of the full details of what they saw. But their fragmented stories ignited the legend anew. Valley View wasn't just gone. It was buried, a haunted relic trapped beneath the surface. What could cause such a phenomenon? Geologists and engineers have dismissed the story, of course. There's no known geological event that could swallow a building whole and leave it perfectly intact. The sheer physics are impossible. But locals whisper older stories, tales of the land itself. Some say the mall was built on an ancient, forgotten burial ground, and its commercial energy desecrated a sacred space. The land, they say, simply reclaimed what was built upon it, pulling the structure down into the earth to silence it. Another, more chilling theory points to the mall's construction. Rumor has it that during the excavation for the foundation, workers unearthed a strange, pulsating rock that gave off a low hum. Instead of reporting it, the developers, eager to stay on schedule, ordered it to be buried deep beneath the central fountain. Some believe this heartstone was a form of telluric battery, an ancient earthly power source. For years, the mall unknowingly fed off its energy, creating a bizarre symbiosis. But eventually, the stone's power waned, and in a final, desperate act, it pulled the entire structure down into the earth with it, creating its own pocket dimension, a ghostly echo chamber trapped between worlds. Think about the physics of it. A building that size would be shattered by any conventional collapse. But what if the laws of physics were temporarily suspended? What if a powerful, localized energy field could phase the mall and everything in it, drawing it downwards through the soil as if it were water? It sounds like science fiction, but paranormal researchers who have studied the case suggest that intense spiritual energy can, in rare instances, warp physical reality. Perhaps the collective energy of thousands of shoppers, day after day, year after year, combined with whatever was already in that land, created a kind of psychic entity. The mall itself became alive. And the ghosts? Are they the spirits of people who were in the mall when it vanished? Or are they something else entirely? Some paranormalists have proposed the stone tape theory, that the building itself recorded the energy of its daily life, and what the explorers saw were not spirits, but psychic replays, trapped in an endless loop. A memory imprinted onto the very structure of the mall, now playing out for eternity in its silent, underground grave. The music, the whispers, the ghostly figures, all just echoes of a time when Valley View was alive and bustling. A recording stuck on repeat. Today, the lot remains fenced off. The local government cites soil instability as the official reason. But those who know the legend see the fences for what they really are, a quarantine. A barrier to keep the living out, and to keep whatever is down there in. People who live nearby still report strange occurrences. Faint music carried on the night wind. The smell of popcorn where there is no theater. And on quiet nights, some claim you can put your ear to the ground and hear the distant, ghostly echo of 1,000 forgotten conversations, a spectral crowd forever shopping in the mall that time forgot. The story of Valley View Mall serves as a chilling reminder that some places develop a life of their own. They absorb our memories, our emotions, our energy, until the lines between the physical and the spectral begin to blur. It's a modern folktale, a ghost story born from concrete and consumerism, and it asks a terrifying question. When a place dies, what happens to the ghosts it leaves behind? And what happens when that place refuses to stay buried? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the bizarre tale of the Valley View Mall. What do you think happened? Was it a geological anomaly, a paranormal event, or something else entirely? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the world's strangest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious.